Tonight, we're looking at the story of Ruth and Boaz. Who can tell me what stands out to them most about their relationship?
For me, it's Ruth's loyalty. I mean, leaving her home and choosing to follow Naomi must have been so hard.
Absolutely. Ruth's loyalty is a powerful example. She didn't just follow Naomi, she chose to trust in Naomi's God. What about you, Emma? What do you think?
I love how Boaz noticed Ruth's character. He didn't just see her as a foreigner or a widow. He respected her faith and hard work.
Yes! Boaz saw beyond her circumstances. In Ruth 2:12, he says, "May the Lord repay you for what you have done." It shows he valued her heart more than anything else. And you know, that's what God looks at, too, our hearts, not just outward appearances. I've always wondered, though, do you think their meeting was fate, or just coincidence? Great question. I believe it was God's providence. In our lives, we might think certain encounters are random, but God is always orchestrating things for His purpose. Ruth's faithfulness led her to Boaz's field. What if she had given up on Naomi and stayed in Moab? So it wasn't luck. It was God. Exactly. And it's a reminder for us to stay faithful in our own lives. We don't always see the bigger picture, but God is always working behind the scenes. Boaz didn't just happen to be kind and wealthy, he was prepared by God to be Ruth's redeemer. Now, what can we learn from Ruth and Boaz about our own relationships?
That love should be more than just feelings. It's about faith, character, and honoring God.
Exactly. Ruth and Boaz remind us that marriage is a covenant, not just a contract. It's about two people coming together to fulfill God's purpose in their lives.
It makes me wonder, are all relationships part of God's plan, or do we sometimes choose what we want instead of waiting for Him?
That's a deep question, Jessica. Sometimes, we do take matters into our own hands. But when we trust God, He leads us to the right people and the right timing. Ruth didn't chase after Boaz. She trusted God and followed Naomi's guidance. The rest fell into place.
It was such a great sermon, don't you think? I love when they talk about commitment. It's inspiring.
Maybe the sermon was aimed at Ethan. What do you think?
You know, I think he's already perfect the way he is. 3 years, and we're still going strong.
Perfect, huh? You sure about that?
Absolutely. He's kind, smart, and we balance each other out. I know God brought us together for a reason.
What are you two talking about? Emma's saying how perfect you are. You've got her completely fooled, man. I'll take it. Who doesn't want to be someone's idea of perfection?
You could still work on being more romantic, though. Wasn't that sermon beautiful? I loved how the pastor talked about Ruth and Boaz. Their commitment was so inspiring.
Yeah, it was all right.
Don't you think it's amazing how God brought them together? It makes me think about us and how far we've come.
I mean, yeah, we've come far. But why compare us to some ancient couple? Times are different.
I thought it was a good reminder of how important it is to commit to the people we love.
We're committed, Emma. Isn't 3 years proof enough?
It is. But I don't know, sometimes it feels like we are stuck. Like, are we moving forward?
Here we go again. Why does everything have to be about moving forward? Can't we just enjoy what we have?
I do enjoy it, Ethan. But I want more. I want a future with you. Marriage, a family.
Emma, it's not that I'm against marriage. I just think we're fine the way we are right now.
Ethan, 3 years isn't right now. I'm not saying we need to plan a wedding tomorrow, but shouldn't we at least be talking about what's next?
Why rush into something we're not ready for? Marriage is a big step. It changes things.
It's supposed to change things. It's about building a future together, one that honors God and His plan for us.
I care about you, Emma. But I don't know if we're ready for something like that. Maybe. Maybe we're just fine as we are.
I don't want to be fine, Ethan. I want to be building something real, something lasting. And if you don't see that with me, maybe you never will.
Emma, I don't want to make promises I'm not sure I can keep.
It's raining. Let me run into that bookshop.
Interesting choice for a rainy night. Looking for dating advice?
Not exactly. More like trying to stay dry.
So it's a coincidence you ended up in the relationships and faith section?
Is that what you're reading? The purpose of a soulmate?
Well, it's that of faith and commitment over there.
You seem committed.
Maybe I am. Or maybe I just believe that some things in life happen for a reason. Even things like rainstorms.
Let me guess, you're one of those people who believes God has a grand design for everything?
Guilty. You don't?
I don't know. Sometimes I think if God really is picking soulmates, he's got a strange sense of humor.
Oh, there's a story behind that.
Let's just say, I'm a bit skeptical. I mean, what's the point of soulmates if we end up heartbroken half the time?
Maybe heartbreak's part of it. Could be that God's preparing us for something. Or someone better.
That's a nice thought. Do you actually believe that?
I do. I think every person we meet brings us closer to who we're meant to be. So maybe soulmate isn't as much about the on as it is about the journey.
The purpose of a soulmate, huh? Guess that book title doesn't sound as cheesy anymore.
It's a little cheesy, but it gets people thinking. Are you sure you don't want a copy?
Maybe if it was called Why God Hasn't Sent Me a Soulmate Yet.
Who knows? Maybe he already has.
Bold move. Maybe God's got his work cut out for you.
I'll take that as a challenge.
Looks like my signal to leave.
Well, if fate brings you back to the purpose of a soulmate, you know where to find it.
I'll keep that in mind. So, I met someone interesting today at the bookstore.
Oh yeah. What was so interesting about them?
We talked about soulmates and whether God has a plan for who you're supposed to be with.
Soulmates? That's just a made-up thing to sell movies and dating apps.
You're such a cynic. You don't think there's one person you're meant to be with.
You meet someone, you get along, and you make it work. But this whole idea of forever and meant to be? It's just a way to trap people.
Trap people? Is that how you see relationships?
Not relationships, just marriage. Think about it. What is it, really? A legal contract to tie two people together. And when it doesn't work, who gets hurt the most? The woman. The guy just moves on.
Wow. I didn't know you felt that way.
It's just reality, Emma. Marriage changes people. It's all sweet at first, then it's arguments about money, kids, who's doing the dishes. Why would I want to sign up for that?
Because it's not just about signing up for something. It's about commitment. Building a life with someone.
You can build a life without paperwork. People should be together because they want to be, not because they're legally stuck.
It's not about the paperwork, Ethan. It's about faith, trust, and honoring a promise. You know, in the Bible, marriage is sacred.
There's the Bible again. Look, I'm not saying I don't love you. I'm just saying I don't need a ring or a pastor to prove it.
Maybe it's not about proving it. Maybe it's about something bigger.
Bigger? Like what? Destiny? Come on, Emma. Life is messy, and love is just part of it. Don't overthink it.
Do you trust God's plan for us, Emma?
I don't know.
What God has joined together, let no one separate.
It was just a dream. Is God trying to tell me something? Or am I just overthinking? God, if this is from you, I need clarity. I don't want to make a mistake.
Okay, I know you're not thrilled to be here, but this is such a great chance to network. Who knows, you might find a dream job.
Oh, sure. Nothing says excitement like resumes and booth pamphlets.
Don't be such a cynic. I'm serious, there are tons of companies here looking for talented people like you.
What talent? My ability to fake enthusiasm for my current job.
No, your actual talent. You've got a knack for marketing, anyone would be lucky to have you. Besides, you never know. This could be the kind of place where fate works its magic.
Oh, here we go. Fate, destiny, blah blah blah. You sound like my aunt who keeps saying things will work out when I least expect it.
Well, she's not wrong. Come on, don't you ever think that maybe some things just happen for a reason?
I don't know. Maybe. But if that's true, fate's been taking a really long coffee break. Well, let's find something exciting while fate wakes up, shall we?
You again? Let me guess, you're here for another coincidence.
Apparently. Or maybe it's fate stalking me this time.
Or ain't storms in disguise. What brings you here?
Just exploring options for my job. What's your booth about?
It's a mentorship program. We help young people find purpose through career guidance and faith. Let me guess, you don't believe in career soulmates either?
Do you tie everything to soulmates?
Only when it's relevant. But seriously, we help people align their careers with their calling. Think of it as matchmaking for purpose.
That's actually really cool. So, is this what you do full-time?
Sort of. I'm a counselor by trade, but this nonprofit is my passion project. What about you?
Marketing. Not exactly my dream job, but it pays the bills.
Ever thought about aligning your work with what you love?
Honestly, I've never really figured out what that is. It's like I'm still waiting for a sign.
Signs don't always show up with flashing lights. Sometimes, they're just moments, like right now.
Emma, they're starting the keynote speech.
Guess I'll see you around. If fate allows.
You never know. It seems to be on a roll.
Okay, spill. Who was that?
Just a guy I met at the bookstore the other day.
Just a guy. Emma, he was looking at you like he'd seen you in a dream or something.
Funny you'd say that. I had a weird dream about him after we met. It was like a wedding. And he was the groom.
Wait, what? You dreamed you were marrying him?
It's silly, I know. I didn't think much of it. Let's leave here and grab coffee at the cafe next door. We can continue with this conversation there.
Emma, don't you think it's a little, I don't know, divine? I mean, you've been dating Ethan for 3 years, and then out of nowhere, this James guy shows up, and now you're dreaming about him?
Come on, Alyssa. It was just a dream. And besides, Ethan and I have history. I'm not throwing that away because of some random guy I barely know.
But do you and Ethan have a future? History doesn't mean anything if you're not moving forward.
We will. He loves me, Alyssa. He's just cautious. With time, I know he'll come around to the idea of marriage.
3 years is a lot of time, Emma. How much longer are you going to wait for him to come around?
Ethan's not perfect, but it was. Relationships take work, and I'm not giving up just because some guy with a nice smile and a lot of faith made me feel, I don't know, something.
And what if that something is God trying to tell you you were settling? Ethan's idea of love is so practical. When was the last time he made you feel like the center of his world?
It doesn't matter. Ethan and I are solid. And I don't believe in throwing away years of work for some fantasy about fate.
I get it, Emma. I do. But maybe think about this, what if it's not about throwing away the past, but about stepping into something better? Just pray about it, okay?
I will. But I'm not ready to give up on Ethan.
You've been quiet tonight. What's going on?
Nothing. Just tired, I guess.
You've been tired a lot lately. Is this about what we talked about before? Marriage?
Don't want to fight about it again, Ethan.
We're not fighting. I'm just saying, why rush? What we have works. Marriage doesn't magically make it better. Who's that?
No one. Just someone I met the other time.
Met how? Did he give you one of those inspirational talks?
Sort of.
Emma, good to see you again. Didn't expect to run into you here.
Yeah, small world.
So, you're the famous James I keep hearing about?
That's me. And you are?
Her boyfriend. For 3 years.
Nice to meet you.
So, what's your deal? Going around inspiring women to leave their relationships and find themselves? Is that the mentorship you offer?
Ethan, stop.
Not at all. My focus is helping people discover their God-given purpose. That's it.
Sounds like a great sales pitch.
It's not about selling anything. It's about living with intention and faith. You should try it sometime.
That's enough. James, I'm sorry. This isn't. I mean, thank you for stopping by.
No need to apologize. Have a good evening, Emma. Nice meeting you, Ethan.
See what I mean? These faith guys always think they're better than everyone else.
No, Ethan. He was just being polite. You were the one being rude.
Trust guys like that. They act all holier than thou, but they're probably just looking for attention.
Maybe the problem isn't him, Ethan. Maybe it's you. Ethan, we've been dancing around this for a while now. We need to talk.
I know what you're going to say, Emma.
Do you? Because it feels like you've been avoiding this conversation for weeks.
I'm just trying to make things easier. I don't want to hurt you.
Ethan, you're already hurting me. I can't keep pretending we're on the same page when we're not.
Emma, I care about you, but I just don't know if marriage is where we're heading. I feel like you want something I can't give.
Marriage isn't just something I want, Ethan. It's something I believe in. It's a covenant, a promise before God. Don't you see that?
I'm not saying I'll never get there, but I don't know if it's with you.
Then we're wasting each other's time. And I can't do that anymore. Goodbye, Ethan. You've been staring at that screen for hours. What's going on? I've just been thinking. Marketing sounded like the dream job back in college, but now I feel stuck. It's not fulfilling.
You've been saying that for a while. What's holding you back from exploring something else?
I'm scared. Starting over feels like admitting I wasted time.
Emma, figuring out what doesn't work is just as important as knowing what does. Maybe this is God nudging you towards something better.
Maybe. I found this career expo happening next weekend. It's supposed to be all about personal growth and making meaningful connections. I'm thinking about going.
That's exactly what I like to hear. Unfortunately, I won't be available to escort you that day, but I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Emma. I didn't expect to see you here.
James? What are you doing here?
I'm one of the panelists. I didn't know you were interested in this industry.
I'm exploring new opportunities. It's been a season of change for me.
Good change or bad change?
A bit of both. I've had to let go of some things that weren't working. But I think it's for the best.
That sounds interesting. We should grab coffee sometime so you can tell me more.
Sure, that sounds great.
I hope I didn't overwhelm you with all that career talk last time.
Not at all. You actually made me rethink a few things about work and about life.
That sounds like a lot of pressure. I'll try to be less profound today.
I think I can handle it. Here is the book. The Purpose of a Soulmate.
Let me guess. Relationships and faith section again?
James. What are you doing here?
I come here often. Something about this place always calms me down. How about you?
I guess I needed a reminder of where it all started.
Where it started?
This new chapter of my life. Letting go of what wasn't working. Figuring out what I want. And maybe who I want.
That sounds like quite the story. I'd love to hear more.